Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be making 3 versions of the well-known and traditional pastry Kabak Böreği. These are made from butternut squash and the last version can be eaten as a dessert. I'll be making mini pies great for snacks or lunch on the go, larger ones and using ready-made filo pastry finally for the sweet option. Here's a list of the ingredients you'll need. Feel free to adjust as necessary. You can of course make less and/or omit the filo pastry at the end. All the details have also been listed in the video description. Let's get started. You'll need a butternut squash weighing around 800 grams, which you can pick up from most supermarkets. Divide roughly into 4 pieces and remove the seeds from the middle. This 800 gram squash is enough for the filo pastry as well as approximately 16 large and 14 small pies. You'll be surprised how far it goes when you add the rest of the ingredients needed for the filling. Be sure to scoop out all the seeds and stringy bits in the middle. Preparing a squash is quite time consuming and some people opt to do so from the night before. Once you've removed the seeds, peel the skin off. Next, chop the squash into tiny pieces. I find it helps if you slice them into strips first. Continue until you have chopped the whole squash and have a nearby bowl to put the pieces in. You want the pieces as small as possible to ensure they cook well in the pastry. Some fun facts about butternut squash. It's rich in vitamin C, potassium and disease-fighting antioxidants. It's also low calorie and rich in fibre and part of the courgette and pumpkin family. Some consider it a cross between a sweet potato and a carrot. All in all, it seems to be a healthy option for your diet. It's also a traditional Turkish favourite, very popular in Cyprus. I have fond memories of my mum painstakingly making this delicious pie when we were growing up. After you have chopped all of the squash, add 50 grams of rinsed bulgur wheat or rice into the bowl. Make sure to rinse under cold water and use a sieve for convenience. Then add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and a tablespoon of sugar and 150 grams of raisins or other mixed dried fruit. I've used raisins and cranberries. These need to be pre-soaked for at least half an hour before use in either water or orange juice. Then that's the filling all complete. Just need to give it a thorough mix to evenly distribute the ingredients. Once thoroughly combined, cover and set aside. Time to prepare the dough. Add 40 grams of sugar and 14 grams of instant dry yeast to 1 kilogram of plain flour. Add 600 milliliters of warm milk. Gently mix to combine. Use your hands when the dough starts developing. Add 10 grams of salt and continue to form a consistent dough. Add a drop of olive oil to your hands to soften the dough and make it easier to knead. After a few minutes of kneading, you should have a lovely soft ball of dough. Cover with cling film or a tea towel and leave to rest for 1 hour. After an hour, roll the dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Work the dough for a minute, then divide into 2 equal parts. Keep the dough covered to prevent drying and work with one piece at a time to roll to approximately 3 mm thickness. Once you have a thickness of about 3 mm, use a tool of your choice to cut the pie shapes. I've used my trusted teapot lid, which I always seem to use, but depending on the size you are after, use what you have available. Add some of the filling to your pie shapes, but be sure not to overfill. You need to leave enough space around the edges to fold in. Lightly dampen the edges around the pastry to help stick the edges. Then fold as shown. An egg yolk and milk mixture to brush on the pies is optional. This will give them an added glow. Using a fork or knife, make an incision on the top of each pie to let the steam out when baking. Then bake in a preheated oven at gas mark 4 or 180 degrees Celsius until golden. Whilst your mini pies are baking, roll out the second part of your pastry. I've used this part to make larger pies, but you can make the pies any size and shape you like. The plate I've used for this is approximately 16 centimeters in diameter, and I was able to get 16 pies out of the remaining dough. Repeat the process as before, adding as much filling as needed whilst not overfilling. Again, dampen the edges to help them stick together. This time I've used a fork as an alternative way to seal the edges. You may also find this an easier method. Then brush with the egg yolk and milk mixture if using it. And make some incisions on the top to release the steam when baking. Time to place these in the oven for baking. If the previous pies are ready, remove them from the oven. Moving on to the sweet filo pastry version now, you'll need a 250 gram pack of ready-made filo pastry and approximately 400 grams of the remaining squash filling. Grease a baking tray with olive oil and line with 2 of the sheets overlapping in the middle. Allow the sides to hang off the edges as these will be tucked in later. Brush with the sauce, which consists of 2 eggs, 175 ml of milk and 50 ml of olive oil. I've also seasoned the sauce with a sprinkle of salt and black pepper. Make sure to apply a generous amount on the layers, as this will ensure the pastry turns out soft and moist at the end. Follow with a pleated layer. Depending on the size of your tray, you may need 2 or 3 sheets here. Then sprinkle on some of the filling. As this is the sweet version, I have added an additional sprinkle of brown sugar for extra sweetness. Add according to your taste. Repeat by adding a flat layer, sauce and a pleated layer. On the pleated layer, add a second layer of the filling. Using a metal spoon, spread out across the pastry so that it is evenly distributed. Sprinkle with some more sugar for that sweet taste. Continue to layer with the filo sauce and filling until all your filo is used up. In total, I used 10 sheets of filo. Aim to have roughly the same amount above and below the layers of filling, which should be in the middle. Finish off with a flat sheet on top, fold in the overlapping sides and pour over the remaining sauce. Bake in the oven at gas mark 4 or 180 degrees Celsius as per the previous pies until golden. I hope you will give these pies a try and let me know what you think in the comments. To receive notification of more of my recipes posted weekly, consider subscribing to my channel. There will also be links to more of my videos posted at the end of this video.